It might be hard to believe, but by the time many people reach their 80s, they've lost nearly half of their muscle strength. Not all at once, and not always in a way you can see. It fades slowly, step by step, lift by lift, day by quiet day. What once felt light now feels heavy. What once was done without thought now takes effort. And for many, this slow weakening becomes a silent thief, stealing mobility, independence, and confidence. But here's something you may not have heard before. It doesn't have to be this way. New research is revealing something remarkable. Even in our 70s, even into our 80s, strength can return. Not just preserved, but rebuilt. There are older adults around the world who are still dancing, hiking, gardening, living with joy and freedom well into their later years. And the difference isn't luck or genetics. It's something much simpler. Something you can do, starting today. It's not a secret. It's not a miracle. It's a daily routine, a small, intentional habit that gently tells your body, we're not done yet. Let's grow strong again. Let me show you how. You see, buried deep inside your muscles, even the ones that feel tired, soft, or forgotten, there's still a spark of memory. A memory of what it felt like to move with confidence, to climb stairs without gripping the rail, to lift a bag of groceries without second thoughts. That spark doesn't disappear with time. It only dims when it's left unused. And the good news is, it can be reignited, not with hours at the gym, not with complicated programs, but with one small change to your day. It starts not with how hard you push your body, but how gently you invite it to wake up. A new rhythm, a new signal, a new way of telling your muscles you're still needed. This is where most advice falls short. It focuses on effort, on movement, but it forgets the deeper truth. Your body doesn't rebuild strength through strain alone. It rebuilds through the balance between challenge and rest, between nourishment and timing, between just enough stress and just enough recovery. In the next few minutes, I want to show you how one simple daily habit can activate powerful changes in your muscles, no matter your age. Backed by science and practiced by some of the strongest seniors in the world, this habit involves something called hormetic stress. It may sound technical, but it's beautifully simple in practice, and its effect on your strength, energy, and confidence can be life-changing. But before we step into that, I want to ask you something gentle. If this message already feels like something you've needed to hear, if you believe it's not too late to feel strong again, would you mind tapping the like button? Maybe subscribing too? It's a small action, but it lets us know you're here, that you care about your health, that you believe in your future. And now, let's take that first real step together into a habit that may feel small on the surface, but reaches deep into the core of how your body heals and grows. It begins with a moment of discomfort, just a short, controlled challenge. But what it triggers within you is extraordinary. Let's explore it. There's something deeply human about resisting discomfort. We avoid the cold, the strain, the hunger. We choose what's soft, what's easy, what brings quick relief. And that's understandable, especially as we get older. We've earned the right to rest, to move slower, to be gentle with ourselves. But here's the twist. Not all discomfort is harmful. In fact, certain small, controlled discomforts, when invited into our day, can become some of the most powerful tools for strength and healing. It's called hormetic stress. A strange name perhaps, but the idea is beautifully natural. It means giving your body just enough of a challenge, not too much, never overwhelming, so it wakes up and adapts. Think of it like watering a plant. Too much, and you drown it. Too little, and it withers. But the right amount? That's where growth happens. Imagine finishing your warm morning shower, then turning the water cool, just for 30 seconds. You breathe a little sharper. Your skin tightens. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also invigorating. Inside your body, brown fat is activated, mitochondria start working harder, and a hormone called adiponectin begins protecting your muscles from breaking down. All in half a minute. No equipment, no gym. Or picture yourself standing in front of a sturdy table. You place your palms flat on it, and for 10 seconds, you push not to move it, not to lift anything, but simply to create tension in your arms, shoulders, and core. It's called an overcoming isometric. Your muscles engage, signals fire, your body gets the message, we still need this strength. You're not trying to become a bodybuilder, you're telling your body not to let go, not yet. Even the spaces between meals can serve you. If you eat within an 8 or 10-hour window during the day and allow your body a longer rest overnight, you gently trigger a process called autophagy. It's like a cleanup crew moving through your cells, clearing out damaged parts, renewing what's tired, recycling what's broken. This isn't starvation, it's restoration. And then there's heat, a warm bath, a few minutes in a sauna if one is available. This isn't indulgence, it's repair. That warmth activates heat shock proteins, protectors at the cellular level that support muscle function and help reduce age-related decline. You sit, you breathe, and your body heals itself in ways you may never have imagined. What connects all of these practices isn't how hard they push you, but how gently they ask your body to respond. A little stress, a little recovery, then a little more. Over time, this rhythm becomes familiar. Your muscles remember, your balance steadies, your energy lifts. You may even catch yourself moving with the ease of someone much younger, not because you forced anything, but because you allowed the right kind of challenge. This is what the healthiest elders do. Not by accident, and not because they're special, but because they listened to their bodies. They gave them enough reason to fight for strength. They practiced these micro-stresses like rituals, not as punishment, but as preparation for the next walk, the next laugh, the next chapter. And if you're wondering when to begin, the answer is simple. Today. One cold rinse, one slow push, one quiet hour between meals. Start there. Let your body surprise you. And while challenge gives you the signal, your next great ally is what follows challenge: nourishment. Not just eating, but eating smartly, with timing that speaks to your muscles in ways they actually hear. Let's talk about that. There's something deeply comforting about food. A warm breakfast, a familiar lunch, the evening meal shared with loved ones. Over the years, these moments have given rhythm to our lives. But what if I told you that it's not just what you eat that matters for your strength, but when you eat it? That the timing of your meals can actually change the way your muscles respond and rebuild, especially after 60. You see, as we age, something subtle begins to shift inside our bodies. The same amount of protein we once thrived on may no longer have the same effect. This process is known as anabolic resistance, where our muscles become a little slower, a little less efficient at using protein to grow and repair. But this isn't a dead end. It's simply a different road, one that asks us to spread our nutrition more thoughtfully throughout the day. Most people, especially older adults, tend to load their protein into one big meal, usually dinner. Breakfast is often a quiet affair. Toast, maybe cereal, maybe nothing at all. But by the time you get to that evening meal, your body has already missed multiple opportunities to build muscle. Because every time you eat protein, your body enters a brief window, just a few hours, when it becomes especially good at using that protein to repair tissue. And if you only trigger that window once a day, you're missing out on chances to stay strong. Imagine instead a breakfast that nourishes, not just fills. Greek yogurt, eggs, maybe a protein shake with fruit, something gentle but rich in what your muscles crave. Then a lunch with lean chicken or fish, beans or tofu, depending on what feels right for your body. And dinner, balanced, not overloaded. When you do this, when you feed your muscles steadily throughout the day, the change is remarkable. They feel supported, heard, they respond. Researchers have found that this even distribution of protein can boost muscle protein synthesis by up to 25% compared to cramming it into 1 or 2 meals. In one study, older adults who spread their intake across breakfast, lunch, and dinner gained over a pound of lean muscle in just 12 weeks. No intense workouts, no drastic diets, just timing and consistency. But it's not just about building strength, it's about how you feel moving through your day. Balanced protein intake helps steady your energy, reduce the dips that lead to snacking, and even improve your mood. When your muscles are well fed, your brain is too. You think more clearly, you feel more capable, you walk through your space with greater ease. And this isn't about perfection. You don't need to weigh or measure or count. You just need to be mindful. To ask, did I give my body enough this morning? At midday? Tonight? With just that small awareness, you create a ripple, one that touches every part of your health. Because strength isn't built in the gym alone. It's built in the kitchen, in the quiet corners of your routine, in the moments when you choose to care for your body not out of fear, but out of trust. Trust that it can still respond. Trust that it's worth the effort. And when you've invited challenge and offered nourishment, there's one more piece to this story. A missing nutrient. One that's so often forgotten, yet so deeply tied to strength, balance, and vitality in your later years. It lives in the sunlight, in certain foods, and for many, in a tiny supplement that makes a world of difference. Let's talk about that quiet but powerful ally. There's a reason why you feel better on sunny days, why your shoulders seem to drop just a little, why your breath flows easier, why a short walk in the light can lift your mood, loosen your joints, and make your whole body feel more alive. It's not just the warmth, it's something far more powerful, working behind the scenes: vitamin D. Often known for its role in keeping bones strong, vitamin D has another, quieter role, one that many people overlook. It helps your muscles hold on. It helps them contract, recover, and resist the kind of slow decline that sneaks in as we age. And yet, more than 80% of older adults are deficient in it. Not mildly low, deficient. And that single missing link might be part of why standing feels harder, why balance feels shaky, why energy dips more than it used to. Vitamin D doesn't just support muscle function, it activates genes inside your muscle cells, real biological triggers that tell your body to build, repair, and hold. Without it, the signal becomes weak. Muscles grow soft, slower, less responsive. But with enough, things change. Your strength improves, your reflexes sharpen, even your coordination becomes steadier, making falls less likely and recovery more reliable. In fact, some of the world's healthiest elders, those often called superagers, have one surprising trait in common: consistently high levels of vitamin D. Not sky high, but optimal, steady, protective. Levels that help their muscles do what they were always meant to do, carry them forward, confidently, every single day. So where does that leave the rest of us? The truth is, relying on sunlight alone isn't enough anymore. As we age, our skin produces significantly less vitamin D than it once did. You could spend an hour outside and still fall short. That's why most older adults need support. A small supplement, 2,000, maybe 4,000 IU per day, can make a real difference. Not just on paper, but in how your body feels. Stronger, safer, more capable. It's simple enough to check. A quick blood test from your doctor. One small number that can open the door to renewed strength. And beyond supplements, there are foods that bring vitamin D into your diet naturally. Fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, egg yolks, fortified dairy. These aren't exotic or hard to find. They're everyday choices that add up over time. And maybe this is the most hopeful part. Elevating your vitamin D isn't complicated. It doesn't require willpower or routines or effort. It just asks you to care, to check, to nourish, to protect your muscles from the inside out with something as quiet and powerful as light. Because this isn't just about walking taller or lifting more. It's about how you show up for life, how you greet each morning, with strength, with steadiness, with the kind of energy that says, I may be older, but I'm not done growing. And when your muscles are nourished, your bones supported, and your cells alive with possibility, something inside you reawakens. We've talked about challenge, we've talked about nourishment, we've talked about restoration. But before we end, there's one last thing I want to share. Something simple, something human, something that might remind you that strength isn't just physical. It's also a decision. Let me tell you what I mean. Sometimes strength isn't found in the biggest muscles or the boldest moves. Sometimes it shows up in quieter ways. In the decision to stand a little taller today. In the moment you choose to push your hands against the kitchen counter. Not to lift, not to strain, but just to remind yourself that you can. In the choice to eat something that feeds your muscles instead of just filling your plate. In the breath you take before stepping into a cool shower, knowing that discomfort might lead to something better. This is what strength looks like after 60. It's not loud, it's not rushed, it's thoughtful, gentle, steady, and it's built, not in heroic effort, but in small, daily moments of care. You may not see the changes right away, but you'll feel them, in how you move, in how you recover, in the quiet confidence that returns, not just in your legs or your arms, but in your spirit. Because when your body feels stronger, your mind feels clearer, your heart feels lighter, you stop holding back. And maybe that's the most powerful thing of all. Not just restoring strength, but restoring the belief that you can change, that your best years aren't behind you, that even now, especially now, you still have the ability to choose movement over stillness, presence over fear, strength over surrender. So start gently, with one habit, one shift, one small promise to yourself. Let that promise grow. Let it take root in your morning, your meals, your thoughts, and slowly, without fanfare, you'll feel it. Not just like you're stronger, but like you've come home to yourself again. And if anything in this video touched something in you, if you felt seen, encouraged, or simply less alone, please take a moment to like, share, or leave a comment. We'd love to hear your voice, your story, your strength, because someone out there is waiting to be reminded that it's never too late to begin again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing yourself today. And as always, we'll be right here, walking this journey with you. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and keep moving forward.